The tree was planted with the Italian group roughly in the late 90s, and it was done with the Italian group and the Italian staff. So since then, once the tree was ready enough to produce the olives, it's become accustomed that the Italians, they're the ones that pick the olives, and even now that they're not able to be with us, they still inquire, they still call in and say, when are we picking the olives?
When I first arrived in Australia, I found the olives in the market, which I didn't know, and it looked exactly one of the types of fruit that I usually have in Vietnam as a child. So I picked it up. I got excited to bite it, and the taste was awful. I said, what? Isn't it the right fruit that I have? But then later on, I really found out that it was olives.
Yep.
And I didn't know that olive has that bitterness.
Come with me, let's go pick some olives and I'll show you how it's done.
So Anastasia, we know there's many recipes for olives because there's different regions of the Mediterranean that use olives. Is the recipe that you're showing us today, is that the one that you've been doing with the Thursday Italian group?
Yes, it is, and it's a recipe that my mum used, and I find it easy. And look, there's lots of recipes depending on the olives, so whether they're green or black, you use a different method, but since we've got the green olives, that's the recipe we're going to do today.
Right. So what do we need for this recipe? Can you show us?
Well, for this recipe, our olives, of course. We can go step by step and I'll show you what we do. So we wash them.
Okay, so we wash the olives.
Wash the olives.
In case a bird has been around or something.
Yes, make sure that they're not bruised. That's very important. So we crush them. So
you crush them, leaving the stone
inside. Some people choose to remove the seed.
Yes.
Mum leaves it. She prefers to leave it. So this is
your mum's method then.
Yes. So this is the first process. Crack them, just enough to open them up. So the next step is to fill them up with water.
Cold water, yeah?
Cold water. And we keep them in a jar.
Yeah.
Put them in a jar. With the water, and we keep the water. We change the water every day for 5 to 7 days until you try them and they're not bitter. If the bitterness has gone, has been removed from the olives, then they're right for your next stage, which is pickling them, adding your, first of all, you have to keep them for a day or two with salted water. So what you would do is, you have a jug and you would add your salt. And I know for a litre of water, you would add roughly a quarter of a cup of salt. So you would mix your salt and you would add it to your olives.
So this is after 6 days?
6 days, and you would add salt and water and you would keep them in a jar for about 2 to 3 days so that the salt can absorb in your olives. the last and final process would be to again drain them.
Yep.
Put them back in a jar. And this is the last stage. And now you can go adding any herbs that you like. Could be fennel, thyme is very good, or oregano, your lemon. You can either use lemon juice, but I prefer to squeeze a bit of lemon juice, but also to use a slice of lemon with the skin. You can add your chili. Some people add garlic, although I prefer not to add garlic in your jar because it does go moldy if you add fresh garlic.
So what would you do if you like garlic? You would add it at the last minute?
You would add it. So if you're opening the jar, serving them, you would add in a little bowl. You can add chili. You can add your garlic. You can add whatever dill. Some people prefer dill. You can add whatever you like. So
do you want to demonstrate this one's marinating because they're the
so. So they've been left in the salted water for about 2 to 3 days, and this is the final step. We would add our olive oil. Now, when you're adding olive oil, it's a good idea. Some people store their olives in the fridge. I wouldn't recommend it because olive oil does tend to go a little bit hard, and there's no need to be stored in the fridge. You can store them in the cupboard. So there's our olive oil. We can add a bit of fennel seeds. They're usually nice. We can add our thyme, a bit of chili, and our lemon. Now, like I said, I prefer to use the whole slices of lemon and also squeeze some lemon on it. And mix them up.
And so then, are they ready to eat straight away?
And
or?
they are, well, I mean, the more they stay in the jar for about a week or so, all the flavors infuse, and they're a lot more.
And so you're saying that it can last up to a year if it does not have garlic in it, yeah?
Yes, it does. And make sure there's plenty of oil. That way they don't they preserve a lot better if they're sort of covered with oil. And
would you put water as well, or just oil?
No, just oil.
Okay.
And if you seal it properly, it can last in the cupboard for a year, for months, for a very, very long time. So that's the process of our olives.
Green olives from Willowview.
And these are some that we did earlier, and they're ready to eat. So that's
from last year,
They're from last year, yes. And they, yes. Also, the lemon does keep it, helps it to retain its colour, like they don't go dark. So basically, that's about it. So that's.
Thanks, Anastasia. Olives Willowview style.
Yes, olives
Thanks for
style.
watching.
So, yes. Now I'm going to taste one, and I can guarantee you they're absolutely delicious. With especially with the fresh bread, yum. Yummy, absolutely delicious. You should try it, guys. It's really easy.